All right. Okay, I think we're going now. Hello, everybody. We'll be getting started in actually right about now. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Good to see everybody here. And here we are, ready to rock and roll. Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Selfridge. Welcome to our weekly live stream on Dr. Selfridge Music YouTube channel. Good to see everybody here. We're back for another week. It is summertime. The weather is quite warm. It is where I live. I wonder. Let me know how the weather is where you are. Speaking of where you are, I see a lot of people checking in today. This is awesome. We'll start saying hello to some people, but it's always nice to hear where people are watching from, especially if you are a new visitor to the weekly live stream. Go ahead and let us know. Well, especially if you're new, let us know what instrument you play, or maybe you play more than one instrument. And also, it's fun to know where people are watching from. So, introduce yourself to the chat room. We have a very friendly chat room where we chat, and you guys can ask me questions, and you can even make requests of songs to play. So, why don't we dive right in? Speaking of the chat room, let's dive right into the chat. We'll start saying hello to some people, okay? All right. Here we go. We want to say, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. Okay, cool. So we're going to say hello to Mia Ann, who's a good friend of ours, who's here almost every week. Let me make sure my sound is good here. Okay, hi Mia Ann, welcome to the live stream, and our good friend Mike is here. Hola to Mike. And our crew is here. Dennis is we'll say hello to Dennis in a sec. And we have Teresa online helping us out in the chat room. And Joseph is here, Uncle Joe. Who else are we going to say hello to? Arnaldo is a good friend of ours, is watching. Who else is here? Tanner is here. Hi Tanner, how are you? Good to see ya. Shane is here, and Shane is a clarinet player. Shane says, just finished my final performance of the Pirates of Penzance. So Shane, that's cool. Tell us a little bit more about that. What production company or what theater company were you performing with? Was it a community theater, or is it at your school? I'm just curious. So tell us a little bit more about that. And were you, we've talked a little bit about playing in musical pit orchestras, which I've done that a number of times over the course of my playing career. And, I don't know if all of you out there are familiar with what it's like to play in the pit orchestra of a musical theater performance. But very often, if you're playing a woodwind instrument, like clarinet, right, your music that you have, here's my flute, your music that you have to play in the orchestra is not just for clarinet. Very often, it has you switching to different woodwind instruments. So you have to know just not clarinet, but also flute and maybe piccolo, maybe saxophone, maybe bass clarinet. So Shane, tell us a little bit more about that, your experience. Okay, we're going to say hi to Amelia. Hi Amelia, welcome to our show. Chris Lancaster is watching from England, of course. Hello Chris, I heard it's very hot in England, is what we're hearing over here. And, all right, Gabe is here. Hi Gabe. And, I have an echo. Uh-oh. Ooh. Okay. Not sure why I have an echo, but let's see if we can fix that, okay? Let's see what we can do here. Hey, Dennis, let's say hi to you. Yeah. Hi. Yep. I don't know how you doing. I'm doing great. Are you listening to the live stream at all, or because I'm
no, not on the actual live stream. I just have you on the phone.
Okay. Because I'm getting.
Yeah, I saw those up there. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
In terms. Maybe I have
wait.
on at once.
I think I know what it is.
Okay.
I think I fixed it. For some reason on my, okay, everybody, I fixed that. So for some reason on my, I wish I could show you guys. I don't want to turn any cameras because I don't want to break anything. But here on my desk, oh, you can see it if I use my overhead camera. Let's see. Check it out. We're going to go to camera 2. Look how fancy I am. All right. So this is when I broadcast everybody. This is the little switcher that I use to switch between my cameras, and my little button here, which turns on my microphone on my other camera, was on by mistake, and I think that's probably what the issue was. Yes, yeah, I see it's fixed in the chat. Okay, so let's say hello to some more people. All my friends checking in on the echo. Okay, we're gonna say hi to Naya. Or Nia, I think maybe it's Naya. Mr. Blobfish, hello, Mr. Blobfish. Thank you all for checking in on the on the echo. Okay, we're gonna shout out. Naya Tiller is awesome. There's your shout out. So Naya, but now you have to tell me what instrument you play, or if you have any music questions. Okay. So Gloria is here. Hi, Gloria. And Naya, you're welcome. Just let me know if I said your name correctly. Okay. Let's see, Gloria, you didn't miss anything yet except my echo on my microphone. So let's get some questions going here, guys. Fluttering Music. Hey, you look, this is a new name here. So welcome to Fluttering Music. Not long, I started learning the flute. Cool. Well, let me know your flute questions because I have my flute today. We're going to say hi to Happy Sunday to Jacqueline, a good friend of ours. Alex from Sunderland, learning to play alto sax and tenor and piano. Okay. This is from, here's a question. H. Lee. Do I have any good practice methods? So there's a lot of things that are contained in that word, practice methods. There are books that are considered practice methods, but then there are just sort of approaches to practicing. Here's a quick response to that. There's like 1,000 things you could say about practicing. But I would say the main thing I say to students about practicing, the best place to start is to set up a regular routine in your daily schedule. It's honestly best to practice every single day. So if you can find, the amount of time you practice depends on how long you've been playing and also how much time you have to devote. And honestly, the more time you spend practicing, the better you're going to get, right? It's kind of obvious, but it's important to say that. So if you're a beginner, it's okay. If you're just doing maybe 20 minutes to a half hour a day, that would really be awesome. And then as you get better, you extend it to 45 minutes, extend it to an hour, and then believe it or not, professional musicians who are at the top of their game, like people who are really out there, the best of the best, they have spent many years practicing 6, 8, 10 hours a day, even more, if you can believe it. So that's number one, setting up a regular practice routine and practicing every day if you can. And then secondly, I would say plan out your practice. So whatever time frame you've decided that you have, you plan it out so you hit some of the important categories of practicing within that time. So say you have a half hour, you're going to spend maybe 5 minutes warming up, maybe 5 minutes on your major scales, 10 minutes on one piece of music that you're working on, maybe 10 minutes on another piece of music you're working on. I think we're up to 20 minutes now. But you see what I'm saying? Try to schedule in time for all the things you need to get done in your practice session. So there's 2 good tips for practicing. Let's keep moving. Let's bring Dennis in for a second. Dennis, you're loud and clear? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So
loud and clear.
Loud and clear. So, have you ever heard of Dennis? Have you ever heard of that book or the concept called the 10,000 hour rule? Have you ever heard this concept?
No.
So
I've heard the concept. Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, there's a number of books that came out about it, but so that kind of if you think about the amount of practicing that the top level musicians put in,
Right.
it's really mind blowing. I'm trying to think of other skills that people put in those kind of hours. I guess artists or
Athletes.
athletes.
I mean,
yeah.
that was a big Kobe. Probably that was one of his main things
Oh, right.
that he was concerned about.
Yeah, just putting in the time. But
Mm-hmm.
it's really
He said you got to do it every day. You got to play it hard every day.
that's right. That's right. So it's true, and no matter what you're studying or what you're trying
Absolutely.
to get good
Oh,
at.
I think so.
Yeah.
Theater, same way.
What's that?
Got to keep acting.
Theater.
Got to keep acting. Got to keep doing things.
Mm-hmm. It's so true, so true. And folks, we're going to check in with Dennis throughout the show. Dennis helps us with kind of highlighting questions that I might have missed. Okay, let's go here. Fluttering Music is from England, but living in Ireland. Okay, hello. Jacqueline plays clarinet and flute. Good friend of ours of the channel here. Amelia Colucci. If you live, I live in New York. I know I live. Okay, I'm not quite getting that comment, but maybe you're saying something about the heat. But you do live in New York, and you live in North Carolina, or you lived in New York. This is where you ask questions. This is where you ask questions. Okay. Right in the chat. Shane said, so Shane's Pirates of Penzance. It was a professional company, Grand Opera House in Belfast. Oh, you were on the stage? Wow. That's awesome. Wow. Dennis, our good friend Shane here is multi-talented. Are you following this?
I see that. Yes, absolutely.
So not only
Onto the Phantom.
Yeah. Not only is Shane an excellent clarinetist, I didn't realize you were on stage too. That's awesome. Okay, and he sent me a video. Tanner says, I've practiced 6 hours a day a couple of times. Wow, that's great. That's great. Fluttering Music has watched my stream, but not regularly, so welcome and thanks for being here. Can I play Aus? I'm going to have to Google this one. I've never heard of this song, but let me look it up, okay? Aus. I'm going to try to pronounce it, much less know what it sounds like. Aus Baldman Comte de Musique. Let's see. I'm going to put the word sheet music in here. Okay, it's on MuseScore. Ooh, whoa. Okay, so let me show you guys what I'm doing here. All right. So I'm on my computer. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek of. First, I'm going to go over to this. Hello. I'm in the corner. Now, take a look. There we go. So here I am. Hello. So this is when you guys ask me for a request, I'll go and put in the title, and I'll write in sheet music. Now, I'm looking here. Here it is on MuseScore. And it's arranged out for, it looks like a brass ensemble. But let's give it a listen here, okay? Oops, I want to make sure I'm not playing any music here. Good, I'm not. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Sounds like a good old type of polka. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit of this for our friend C. Abreu. This is a request. And so this is, you can see this is arranged for flugelhorn, trumpet, clarinet. All right, so it's not quite a brass ensemble. It's like a polka group. But, you know, flugelhorn, there was no, in the request, I didn't see a request of an instrument. I'm going to play it on clarinet, okay? Because you guys know clarinet is in the same key as trumpet and flugelhorn, which means if you're looking at flugelhorn music, if you're looking at trumpet music, it's going to sound the same notes on clarinet. Now this is called polka potpourri. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to dive into this and give it a try, okay, everybody? So let me zoom out. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Now there's no count in, so I'm just going to do my best to dive in. Here we go. Okay. So, oh, let me turn off my nice little echo there. So what was happening there, if you guys were noticing, I was kind of dropping out a little bit. On MuseScore, it's great. They have the cursor or the highlight that goes by and shows you what measure you're playing. But what it doesn't do is you can't see what's coming next. So you have to kind of wait for a second to get to the next little bit. So there's a little bit of your request. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, for sax. There we go. I see you requested sax. Well, I did it on clarinet, so there you go. Mia Ann, can you play Arabian Nights on flute from Aladdin? Okay, let's look this up. I can sort of play that one from memory, but I think I need to look it up. And I wonder if... Ooh, this is something that I have a feeling might be on YouTube. Sometimes they have play-alongs on YouTube. Arabian Nights flute. Let's see what happens. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I think you might have requested this before, or I feel like I've looked this up before because there is an arrangement for flute. But let's go ahead and do it anyway. I'm going to show you. This might even be the same video that I used. Okay. So this is an arrangement for flute choir. Okay? So this is Mia Ann. Mia Ann's request. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys couldn't see. I highlighted the comments, but okay. Here we go. I'm going to play some of this. There we go. Guys, this is the weirdest thing. So I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys before, but I have, for my my setup, I have two MacBooks. I've got this main MacBook, and I got another one for the comments. And sometimes it's crazy. The mouse jumps off of my one Mac laptop and jumps onto the other MacBook. I don't know. It's weird. Some like weird Bluetooth thing. Okay, here we go. Okay. Wow. So I don't know if you guys noticed, another interesting thing about that is, again, I was playing from an arrangement for, you see all these different flutes. So to get the different parts of playing the song, I had to jump around the arrangement a little bit. So I started off playing flute 4, or flute 4. Do, 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 do. And then when the melody came in, I had to jump here to flute 2. Ba, da, 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 da. So that's a nice request. So thank you for that request. Let's go back, and I'm going to turn my comments back on so you guys can see. There it is. Okay. And Shane is starting Phantom of the Opera and playing clarinet. That's super cool, Shane. I will look. You said you sent me a video. I'm going to look for that. Let's see. Chris Lancaster. I was using Rubank Elementary Method for clarinet, struggling with counting, remembering fingerings, breathing. So, Chris, I assume maybe you're mentioning that because of the question we had before about practice methods. Yeah, the Rubank Elementary Method is classic. I totally recommend the Rubank books. But your comment here is interesting. Just came across Galper equivalent, and I actually have never heard of that one. I don't know if that's a UK thing or in England. Big difference. It starts off slurring everything. That's very interesting that you're finding that difference there. I feel like, I don't know, I'd be interested to look into that with my beginner students. When I always found that I worked really hard to get my beginners to remember to do their tonguing from the very beginning, because if students never learn how to do that, that becomes a big problem. But that's a very interesting approach. Okay, Robert says, I practice 3 hours per day. That's excellent. Excellent. Mike Hamilton, the Orville's theme tune. Okay. Let me get to that. I'll get to that in just a minute. Cia Breo says, thank you for playing. I appreciate that. Yeah, and Alex says, that's one of the drawbacks of MuseScore. It's not so bad. Oh, right. If I looked at a single instrument, that would help. Okay, let me go. Guys, keep the comments and questions coming. I always appreciate it. But for now, and if you guys are watching on, if you're watching on Facebook, I can't see your comments. But if any of our tech crew happens to be watching on Facebook, you could bring the comments over. Let's see, or you can join us on YouTube, and then you can type your comments in the chat. I'm going to do Mike's request. So, Mike, do you want me to play this on alto sax? Let me see. Let me look this up. So, Mike, let me know, or maybe you don't really have a preference. The Orville theme sheet music. The Orville sheet music for your MuseScore again. Let's see what we have. Oh, interesting. This is arranged for, let me show you what I'm looking at, everybody. We're going to go over to here so you can see me. All right. So this is Orville is a TV show, if I am thinking of the right thing. It's like a Star Wars type TV show. So let's take a little listen here. Let's take a little listen. Oop. Okay. So how about, if you don't mind, Mike, I'm going to play it on flute. I'm going to play the violin part on flute. Okay? I'm going to try to play along. Again, I'll have my issue. Oh, maybe I should try what my friend here suggested. Alex suggested that we do continuous mode on single instrument. I wonder how to do that. Is this it? Oh, that's just piano. That's cool. Whoa, that's so cool. What happens if I do? This is cool though. On MuseScore, you can do this, and it does like the those YouTube videos that you see that do this. All right, piano MIDI style. All right, let's go back because I don't think this is going to show. All right, I'm just going to play the violin part best I can with the score. Trumpet. That's a nice theme. It's very catchy. It's very Star Wars-y. Okay, so let's go back here. Thank you for that request, Mike. And let's go back to your comments. Everyone's comments and questions. Here we go. So that was for Mike. That was a bit of the Orville. Hey. There we go. That was a bit of the Orville's theme song. Okay. Jenny Brooks. I used a channel called Brian Hayes to start remembering fingerings for clarinet. Very cool. Yeah, so Jenny, I started, I have to see when my last video is. Clarinet fingering chart. I think I have a video with all of the fingerings, or maybe I don't. I did it for alto sax, but I don't think I ever put it up for clarinet. So that's awesome. So the channel is Brian Hayes, and hopefully sometime soon I'll have a video up of clarinet fingering charts. Okay, Josh Vance, how are you doing? Good, Josh. Good to see you here. We are, well, I'm waiting for some more questions to come through. So let me go back and see if there are some questions I missed. Feel free to chime in with your comments and questions. I'll tell you, while I'm waiting for some more requests and comments, we are here in my part of the U.S. We are about halfway through summer. We start school just after Labor Day, which is, I think, the first week of September. And we'll be starting band camp on August 15th. So I've been going in every Wednesday night for high school band. We've been having practices. And starting on August 13th, Saturday, we're going to have our freshman new member orientation. And then starting August 15th, we're going to have band camp, which is every day. We go, how many hours is it? We avoid the hottest part of the day because we're outside a lot. So we actually start at 2 p.m. and we go to 9:30 p.m. Okay, so we put a dinner hour in there. And during these 2 weeks of band camp, we learn our entire halftime show, the marching, the playing of the music, and then we have our first football game, which is comes up pretty quick. So that's what I've been doing. Wednesdays in August, I've been having, Wednesdays in July, we've been having band practice. Our color guard has been practicing, getting ready for the big season, which things get pretty crazy starting mid-August. So, okay, let's see here. What I'm going to show you guys now is my latest thing I've been working on for my channel. You guys might be aware if you go to, here, let me switch out here so you guys can see me. There we go. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go here. The latest thing I've been working on for my channel, and Amelia, I see your question, I'll get to that in just a sec, is beginner band tunes. Okay, if you go to my website, Beginner Band Tunes, I've been working on trying to get as many of these songs posted online as videos for every instrument as possible. So I've been going through alto sax, and my few latest ones I just put up. I just put up one for Pierrot, which is Au Clair de la Lune. It's a really common beginner song. Okay, it goes like this. And it's the same both times. Both lines are the same. Merrily We Roll Along is a really good beginner song. I have this one recorded. I just haven't put it up yet on YouTube. This is very similar to another beginner song. Let me see if anyone can pick out this song right here, Merrily We Roll Along. I'm going to play it, but it's very similar to another beginner song. See if you can pick up on what that is. So that might sound familiar to you. There's another name that song goes by. Now the one that I also just put up this one called minor buns, and it's called minor buns, kind of a funny name. It's called minor buns because it's like major hot cross buns, but we changed the notes a little bit and it turns into a sound of minor. That's minor buns. It's really good for having newer students learn about the difference between major and minor. And then the new video, which should be coming up this week, is We Will Rock You, and also these Let's Go cheers, which are fun. Oh, Jacqueline got the right answer. It is, whoops, let's go back here. It is Mary Had Little Lamb, basically, with like a few notes difference. So I want to go back to a question I got here from Amelia. Okay, and Amelia wants to know, how do we remember all of the trumpet's notes? So let me get my trumpet. It's funny. I think back when I was in high school and we were on a band trip to somewhere, maybe a football game, and I was on the band bus, sitting right behind a friend of mine who played trumpet. And I guess I was starting to get more interested in music, and I remember him teaching me the notes, the fingerings for a C major scale on the trumpet, and it was very confusing to me. I was just like, oh man, how do you remember that? But it's like any new thing, right? It's hard to remember at the beginning, but you have to drill and you have to repeat and you have to say it. Train your brain, right? Over and over, practice. So, but there are some principles that can help you remember. So, for one thing to think about, when you play with no valves, okay? I'm trying to set this so you can see it. When you play with no valves, your air goes down here. Follow the maze of where your air goes. It goes down here, or your vibrations. Now it goes in here. Now, depending on if you press any valves down, what the valves do is the valves change the length of how far your vibrations are traveling. So if you press this one down, your air goes a little bit further. If you press your third valve down, they go all the way through. I know it's like I keep turning it around. If you turn the third valve down, it goes all the way through here. So learning the patterns of which valves go down really help you. For example, so if I'm playing a G, open G, no valves. Sorry, I don't have to be too loud here. If I want to go to an F sharp, that's a half step lower. On trumpet, anytime you're on a note, an open note, and you want to go a half step lower, it's that, because you're just adding this little bit of valves to it. So going from a G to an F sharp is doo doo. Or if you're on a C and you would go to a B, it's a half step, right? Okay, so let's go back to our G note. Half step lower. G, F sharp, G. If you want to go to an F, that's a whole step. Now, a whole step from open is this valve, because look, the air is going to go through here and it's a little bit further. So that's a whole step. Okay? So listen. Then, if we're going to go down to an E, that's one half step lower. It's just a little bit longer that the air has to go. We press down 1 and 2, and now your air is going through all of this extra tubing. So I don't want to confuse you by going on like that too much, but I'm just pointing out the fact that at the beginning you're just memorizing where your fingers go, right? C, D is 1 and 3, E is 1 and 2, F is 1, G is open. But then you start to learn how the trumpet works, and it becomes much easier to understand why the different valves make the different sounds. Okay? So that was the point of that explanation. Anyway, I hope that was somewhat helpful and not just confusing. Okay, so Arnaldo says my fingering chart for alto sax is very cool. Thank you, appreciate that. And Jacqueline got the right answer on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Merrily we roll along. Colby is joining in and saying hi. And Jacqueline wants to know if we have a band camp for over 60. We do not, but you know what? There actually are. You know what, Jacqueline? You live in Philadelphia, right? So I don't know if I've recommended this to you before, but one of the things I did as a PhD when I was doing my doctoral stuff at Temple University, one of my duties was to assist with. They have a community concert band at Temple. It's called the Night Owls. And they practice, they still practice on Monday nights. That's what it always used to be. And that's completely open to anyone in the community, basically probably anywhere in the city. And there's even people that come in from outside the city. And it's a concert band. And it's all ages. There's undergraduate students all the way up to folks your age, people older than you. I know we had folks, up into their 80s playing in the concert band. So I highly recommend it. It's called the Temple University Night Owls. And if you just look it up on Google, I'm sure you'll find it. But it's Monday nights at Temple. So I recommend that for you. Something to try out. Okay, Colby says, I joined very late. Welcome. Oh, Ibrahim Syed, I remember you. Welcome to our stream. Amelia says thank you. I hope that was helpful. Okay, Mr. B. MB. Sorry, not Mr. B. MB. Hi, Dr. Selfridge. Any recommendations for your son who's practicing, entering second year with trumpet? Just from your description there, MB, I can almost imagine what probably is going on there. Okay? I hope you're still listening. So, and you know what, even if you want to, let me just show you guys this real quick. I'm going to give you some recommendations, but when I end the show, you guys will see my email address and all that, but I'm just going to pop this up real quick. So here is, let me clear this out. At the bottom, drselfridgemusic@gmail.com is where you can email me. If you even would like to send me a little quick video of a demonstration of what the sound, when you said your son, that detached sound, I can know for sure. But let's get back to your question. Okay, so what I'm guessing is happening, a lot of beginners get into this habit, and some people out there this might apply to you. So, and the not so good habit that I hear some beginners getting into is what I call the huffing and puffing style of playing. And that means they try to blow a separate push of air for every note. So if you're playing hot cross buns, what some students will do is try to go, right? And I don't know if that's what you're hearing, MB, but the problem there, the same thing happens on saxophone. They go honk, honk, honk. What you focus on is think about your air as one steady stream, like you've turned on a strong faucet and the air is the water comes pouring out. So shh, and your air's going. Feel the air. Now, what you do is instead of turning on and off the faucet for every note, right? You keep the faucet running, and your tongue just taps right behind your teeth like you're going two, 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 but silently. And it's like running your finger through the stream of water just to interrupt it briefly. So I'll show you what I mean. Here's my steady stream of air. So my tongue is just going ta, 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 but my air is never stopping. It's like I turned on the faucet and it's going. Does that make sense? So let me play hot cross buns. Especially on one a penny. A lot of kids will go, right? That's because they got to turn the faucet on. And then the tongue. The other thing to remember, when you tongue, nothing else on your whole face should move. Your lips shouldn't move. Your jaw shouldn't move. I'm going to show you one more thing. I'm going to show you on saxophone. No, I'll show you on saxophone. And this goes for every instrument that you use air with, wind instruments. When you're doing your tonguing and separating your notes, another sort of, not great habit is some beginners will move their whole mouth when they're tonguing, like to try to do that. Everything should be completely frozen. Your tongue is literally the only thing that moves. So if we had like an X-ray machine and you could see my tongue moving inside my mouth, everything would be still. You just see the tongue going. Watch and listen. So hopefully some of that stuff helps. It applies for every instrument that uses air. Okay, cool. Okay, good. So you were listening to that. I'm going to go back to some of these questions, but I just want to follow up on MB, and says it totally makes sense. Perfect. So maybe either you show so these live streams go onto my channel as videos after they end. So you could either fast forward to this spot in the live stream and show my answer to your son. Tell him I said hello, by the way, and tell him I said to make sure he practices every day. But show him that part of my video, my explanation, and hopefully that will make sense. And check back in with me, okay? Let's keep going to some more great questions here. Do I play xylophone? So Ibrahim, let me put it this way. I know how to play xylophone. I know how it works. Every music teacher has instruments that they're really good at. Like my professional instrument is saxophone and clarinet and flute. And then they get, I can play all the other ones, but I'm not a playing expert. I'm an expert in sort of how to teach them. So anyway, short answer, yes, I play xylophone. Okay. How many instruments do I play? Well, what a perfect question based on the last question. Let's just say I play all the instruments in the concert band, so however many that is, but I wouldn't say I play them all at the same level. You could put them on a chart, and then if you scored me on 1 to 10 of how good I am at the different instruments, or 1 to 20, my professional instrument, I consider myself up at the high range. But then if you get down to, say, oboe, I got a lot of practicing I would need to do on oboe. Trumpet, I'm okay. I just don't have good, you really have to build up your muscles by practicing every day, which I don't practice trumpet every day. So it's a range. Okay. Oh, Amelia says, look up Porter Ridge High School Marching Band. I'm going to do that. I love seeing the bands that you guys all play in. Marching band. Opus 60. I don't know that piece. Oh, you guys did Band of Pirates? I'm looking at your YouTube channel. So this is cool. This is your school? Let me just show you guys a little bit. Wait. Let me show you. Hold on. I have to switch my. That's what I need to do. All right. So here we go. This is when I go to my laptop. Porter Ridge Marching Band. Let's see. Let's look at this. Oh, I like the peace signs. Where are you guys? Porter Ridge Marching Band. Like what part of the country? You don't have to tell me exactly where. So this is Amelia's marching band. Oh, you guys are good. Ooh. Wow. What a really great sounding band you guys have. And North Carolina. Okay, cool. I got to go back to my comments so you guys can see my comments. Come on. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's go to some more questions. We have some time left. Keep the questions coming and requests if you have them. Tanner, although we're getting a lot of questions today, which I love. I love both, but it's nice to answer questions. Tanner, do you have anything to say about joining marching band and what it's like? So, yes. So you guys can all chime in on this. First of all, I would say, so Tanner, I don't know where you are in your school years. Are you asking this because you're getting close to high school and you're thinking about joining? What happens, what I see a lot is our students who are getting into 7th and 8th grade, they're thinking about, what am I going to do in high school? Am I going to join the marching band? And some of them get a little bit, more than a little bit, nervous they're worried about, am I going to be able to march and play my instrument at the same time? It just seems really difficult. It's logical that it would seem very difficult to someone who's never tried it before or done it before. And it is challenging at first, but very quickly, it's amazing how your brain processes all of that. And you can get, after a certain amount of time, it's almost easy. So I would say the biggest thing for high school marching band, in my experience, is it's such a really amazing group to be a part of, because the students who are in marching band tend to get very close, and you get a lot of friends. You spend more time with your friends. Doesn't mean you have to be best friends with everyone who's in the marching band, but it means you all spend a lot of time together. You're going to be more close with certain friends in the marching band, and that's totally fine. But I find it to be, one of the best activities you can do in your high school career. You just really, and on top of that, you get to perform. Everyone on the field is of equal importance of putting on that show. It's like being in a big, theater musical or something. So I highly recommend it. And if you have specific questions, put them in the chat and I will answer those questions. Okay. Ibrahim says, thank you for remembering me. You're welcome. So you asked, do I train people? And yes, in two ways. I'm a high school music teacher, so I teach high school band every day. And then I also have a small number of private students. I've kind of moved into less private tutoring because I'm so busy with the high school band. But yes, I do teach. Okay. Official Clark Sisters. Hello. Great. Thanks, MB. Appreciate it. Okay, this is a great question. Okay, right. You just said hello. Okay. How do I work on breathing when I play my clarinet? Okay, tips for breathing. Clarinet and all wind instruments. First of all, general just breathing for a musical instrument. It's different than normal everyday breathing. When you're breathing in normal everyday life, you don't even think about it. It's an involuntary action that your body does. And when we breathe for an instrument, we have to think of having a more open throat than we normally have. So and we have to think about bringing more air in very quickly. So think about making your throat or your windpipe as big and wide as possible, like a big pipeline that might be sending water just right. So you want to open it up, and the way we do that is I visualize it by saying the sound O backwards. So I tell students it's like you're saying the sound O backwards. Right? Now, a lot of times when you tell new musicians, you say take a big breath, and usually kids, they want to go. They want to make that sort of sound, right? But that sound is actually the sound of your throat constricting. You don't want to make that sound. You want the sound of whooshing silent air. Okay, so that's number one. And the number two is when you have your embouchure set on clarinet, you keep your teeth on top and then open all of this to do your backwards O breath, then form your embouchure and play. So we don't take our whole mouth off the clarinet to breathe. We set the top teeth, Open all around here. And then we work on something. Here's the last thing I'll say. Work on something called long tones. Once you've done those 3 steps, you've opened up your windpipe to the biggest air flow you can possibly get. You set your teeth on top, fill up your whole body with air, and then your goal for a long tone is to hold the note as steady as you can for as many counts as you can. If I sat here and did it right now, I could probably get up to like 40 seconds without warming up. Maybe if you're just starting, you will get to maybe 8 seconds or 10 seconds, or just try to keep pushing it for the steady sound. I'll give you one example. So top teeth, band phase, open up the bottom of your embouchure, set. So that was like 15 or so. I was probably counting a little slow. So that's what you want to work on. Okay, Tanner. Whoa. You might get a little lightheaded when you do stuff like that. As I explain to my students, especially flute players, when you get lightheaded, it's actually you are, I believe the term is you're hyperventilating. You're bringing in so much air. Actually, Dennis, can you hear me?
Yes.
This might be a question for your wife about, with that medical expertise. When you're,
yeah.
I believe, when new flute players or musicians get lightheaded, it's because they're breathing in and out so much. They're hyperventilating, getting too much, getting too much oxygen in their blood.
Yep.
Believe it or not, I'm a professional musician, and like taking deep breaths is like my life. When I go to the doctor and he starts doing that, he's listening to your chest. He's like, take a deep breath, take a deep breath, take a deep breath. I start to get dizzy. I'm like, you need to slow down. But that's from getting too much oxygen.
Absolutely. That's what it's from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something that I explain to our beginner flute players, everybody, that, that when that happens, you just take a minute, let your body catch up, and then you can practice a little bit more. I'm a freshman in high school and in symphonic band. That's Tanner. Cool. This time is flying by, everybody. We have a couple minutes left. Amelia's checking in. Says marching band in high school is fun. It's your family. Totally. I totally agree. Ooh. Wow. Here is a mountain of a question. Can I teach you how to improvise on the trumpet? Yes. It's the same no matter what instrument you're playing. Let me get you started, okay? I remember you too, Kona. Good to see you. Here's how I always get students started on improvising. Take any song. I'm gonna go super simple. I always use When the Saints Go Marching. I'll do When the Saints Go Marching In, okay? But you could do this with something super simple like Hot Cross Buns. But I'm going to do When the Saints Go Marching In, and I'm going to do it in the key of concert B flat major. Oh, you know what? Okay, I was going to give you a general explanation, but you gave me a more specific question here. The meaning of D minor 7. Okay, so what I was going to say to you first, Kona, was just taking the melody of whatever you're improvising on and playing around with the rhythms and adding a few notes is a great way to get started. So Saints Go Marching In. Right? You could do just adding rhythms to it. Right? So just adding a few notes to it. Now, when you get deeper into improv, you get questions like this. D minor 7. So D minor 7, let me show you my camera here. So, whoops, here we go. So D minor 7, that's, so D minor 7 for trumpet, for piano. It's you have to learn how chords are constructed. It's kind of a long explanation. But the super quick explanation for minor 7, okay? is you take whatever the major 7 chord would be, and that comes from the major scale. So here's your major scale. 1, 3, 5, 7. And then for minor 7, what you do is you lower the 3rd to a half step and you lower the 7th a half step. So there's minor 7. All right? So for me to fully explain that, it would take some time. But on the trumpet, so say you're playing D major 7, you would have to take the 3rd, F sharp, and make it F natural. You'd have to take the 7th, C sharp, and make it C natural. Okay? All right, so, you know, one of these days maybe I'll get more time to do some more jazz lessons on my channel. I have a few jazz lessons on my channel, but if you come again next week, ask me another jazz question, I would be happy to answer that for you. All right. Ibrahim, do I teach online? I do have some students online. Actually, at the moment, I don't have any students online. Oh no, I have one. I do have one student. If you have any interest in doing online lessons, what I would encourage you to reach out to me. Where is my email? When I finish today's stream, everybody, you are going to see this screen right here. And at the bottom, right below Ibrahim's chat question there, is my email address, drselfridgemusic@gmail.com. And you can reach out to me there. And we could set up, if you're interested, we could set up online lessons. Although once the school year starts, when I get into high school, the high school band school year, it's super busy. But we could certainly find time if you're really interested in lessons. So Shane is checking in just as we are getting ready to wrap up here. And Shane says, I should do videos on music theory. Yeah, you know, I would love to do music theory videos, more jazz videos. The time it takes to make a video, you guys, is actually, you'd be surprised. I was just working on the We Will Rock You video this morning, and it took me about 45 minutes to record it last night, and then another like hour and a half just editing it this morning, and it's still not done. So I'm getting better at it, though. I'm getting quicker as I get more practice. But that being said, I would love to get into some music theory videos. But there are a lot of great channels that really are completely dedicated to music theory that do an awesome job of teaching that. So everybody, hard to believe, we are coming up on the end. So Dennis, I want to say thank you to you for another great week.
Always fun.
Thank you. And yeah, good chat room today. Good participation. And again, not a lot of musical requests, but more questions in the chat, Dennis. So I thought that was.
I think that's always the best.
Yeah. So Dennis, have a great week. Thank you very much. Yeah. And everyone, make sure you say thank you to Joe and Teresa in the chat for helping us out as always. I really appreciate it. And we have been, if you pay attention to Teresa, always puts up in the chat recognizing new members who are watching us. Usually, maybe for the first time, although sometimes I think Ibrahim has been here before. But we always like to shout out people who are here in the chat. Thank you for being here, and please come back. We're here every Sunday, 3:00 p.m. That's my time. That's Eastern time here in the Philadelphia area of Pennsylvania, United States. So same time every week. Come with your questions and your requests, and I would love to see you all again next week. Until then. Make sure you're a subscriber. Make sure you're following my videos. Send me your suggestions of what I should do next, and feel free to reach out. On the next screen, you'll see how to follow me on the different social media sites. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.